Today is our summary lesson of these two sample tests and confidence intervals. And so we have to decide which one do we do. So as we've talked about in the other chapters, when it's in section 1, you know you're going to do the section 1 thing. When it's in section 2, you know you're going to do the section 2 thing. But what happens when it's on the quiz and they're all out of order? How do you decide what to do? Or in real life, how would you decide what to do if you're actually doing some sort of a study or an experiment? So the first thing you would do is decide, what is the parameter? Is it a proportion? Is it a standard deviation, which we haven't been studying, or is it a mean? So for us, it's going to be, is it a proportion or is it a mean? If it's a proportion, are they independent or dependent of each other? Now, in StatCrunch, it's not really going to make a difference for us with the proportions, whether they're independent or dependent. But with means, it does make a big difference. If they are dependent, if they are paired, then we'd want to select the paired. If they are independent, then we select the two sample. So it's going to be looking for keywords. So I've got some practice problems for us here. So we'll run through these and see if we can figure out what our keywords are. So the following data represent the measure of a variable before and after. Okay, well, a before and after, that seems like these are paired up. We have 5 individuals and a before and an after, so those should be paired up. We wouldn't want to compare individual number 1's before with individual number 5's after. That wouldn't tell us anything. So these are paired, and what we are testing on them is a mean. We want to decide, are the means changing? So we would be doing a paired mean t-test. Okay, so we'd choose t-test and we would choose paired on this one. All right, TIMSS is an acronym for the Third International Mathematics and Science Study. Kumon promotes a method of studying math that it claims develops mathematical ability. Do data support this? And one particular question on the TIMSS exam, a random sample of 400 non-Kumon students resulted in 73 getting the right answer. Oh, you know what? I just realized I typed in the wrong answer because I was doing this too fast. So, oops. For the same question, a random sample of 400 Kumon students resulted in 130 getting the correct answer. Perform the appropriate test. Okay, so when we look for keywords, the first thing we need to decide is, what is the variable that we're studying here? Are we studying a proportion or are we studying a mean? So 400 non-Kumon students got 73 of them got it right. 400 Kumon students, 130 got it right. This is a proportion. And I accidentally did mean. Oops. So I make mistakes too as I'm trying to do this while my kids were eating lunch. So this is actually a proportion. So wrong title on the slide here. This is a proportion because I just quickly looked at them like, oh, test scores, means, you know, SAT scores, that's a mean. So I skimmed too quickly, and that was the mistake that I made. So careful reading skills here. It's, did they get it right or wrong? Not what was their score. If we were talking about scores, then we'd be talking about means. But this is on a particular question, right or wrong. So that would be a proportion that we're going to be doing here. So this is going to be a proportion to sample. All right, do people tend to spend more money on fast food when they use a credit card? The following data represent random samples of credit card and cash purchases. So this is a mean. It's not just a yes or no question. They spent money. So it's not a yes or no. So it's not a proportion. It is a mean. Then the key is to decide, are they paired or are they independent? They do have the same number, it looks like. Probably it's behind the video picture there, but it looks like they have the same number, so there's the potential for pairing, but there's nothing in the question itself that tells us that it was the same person making purchases. So this is going to be an independent two-sample mean t-test with data. Right, so in there you have to choose with summary or with data. This is actual data. So this would be a two-sample independent mean t-test with data. Ooh, Okay, McDonald's and Wendy's. The student wanted to determine whether the wait time in the drive-thru at McDonald's differed from that at Wendy's. Random sample of 30 cars at McDonald's and 27 cars at Wendy's. All right, so not a yes or no, so not a proportion, so it's going to be a mean. So mean, we would do a t-test. Then we have to decide paired or not paired. A big hint here is the fact that the sample sizes are different. Because the samples are different, there's no way to pair these together. Okay, so these are independent two-sample mean t-test and with data, again, a lot of data. Researchers had a car traveling 10 miles per hour collide into the rear bumper of an SUV and recorded the amount of damage in dollars. The data are below. Do the given data suggest the repair cost of the car is higher? Okay, so not a yes or no. There were damages. The question is, how much are the damages? So then we're thinking about mean. Okay, so it's going to be means. So t-test means. Then the question is, are they paired? Yeah, they're paired here because we're looking at what car and SUV are running into each other. They are paired up specifically according to the type of vehicle. So this is going to be a paired mean t-test. The paired ones always have to be with data because we have to see that pairing of the data. Zoloft is a drug used to treat obsessive compulsive disorder in a randomized double-blind clinical trial. 926 patients diagnosed with OCD were randomly divided into two groups. Subjects in group 1 received Zoloft. Group 2, control group, got a placebo. Of the 553 subjects in the experimental group, 77 experienced dry mouth. Of the 373 in the control, 34 experienced dry mouth. Okay, so question number 1, what are we measuring? Is it a mean or a proportion? They have dry mouth or they do not. So this is a proportion. This is a proportion to sample proportion test, and we have the summary here, not the data. Okay, we don't know which patients had dry mouth and which did not. We just know how many. That's it. Let me know what questions you have, and I am happy to help you. See you again soon.